You know, I had some excitement for DC Superhero Girls, and after watching it, I think it actually managed to be a fun spin on the female DC superheroes. It can definitely take some time getting used to the changes with the characters. I will say the premiere wasn't the best introduction for it, but for the most part, this series can be fairly enjoyable. I'm just hoping we don't get to a point too many people hate it because of the changes. Lord knows we don't need another Teen Titans Go situation on our hands. I just can't deal with that again. No. Let's not get to that point again.
No problem.
This iteration of DC Superheroes is made by Lauren Faust, who developed the Gen 4 My Little Pony series and has had a major hand in animation when working on shows like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Powerpuff Girls, and even had a movie about Medusa that got canceled by Sony. Friggin' morons. But that's in the past now, and this is her new thing, which definitely has her touch embedded in it. You can pretty much feel this is by her with how the characters and the situations play out, which is a good thing about it since she usually does a nice job with the projects she works on, and this is no exception. This series is more or less a reboot of the original DC Superhero Girl show that was on Boomerang. Kinda odd they rebooted it so early, but then again, the original seemed pretty like it just looked kinda bland, so I guess you could look at this as a sort of upgrade. This rendition keeps the same premise of the superheroes being in high school and tackling sort of problems of the week. This manages to work pretty well with the group having fun personalities and playing off of each other. You might think it's sort of like Teen Titans Go with it having an emphasis on silly comedy, but they don't go so balls to the wall all out with the execution like Go does. It's not like a parody, it's definitely something on the lines of a different interpretation that still pays nice homage to it. Though I will say a sort of annoying aspect of this show is that the episodes all have hashtag in the title. That just seems pretty unnecessary, but what can you do? The premiere episode definitely was a little lacking since it played a little too safe for itself. It's just kind of a by-the-numbers superhero team origin story that we've all seen 1,000 times. You got the team not liking each other at first, then they get along and form up and train, but they fail on the first mission, and then they mope and dope until they decide to get back together and win the day. It's all too familiar. Thankfully, there were shorts that came out on the internet before the premiere that showcases the strong points of the series a lot better. You definitely get a better sense of how the characters work and how they have a nice sense of camaraderie. And even characters are a little more toned down and pretty much used to the lifestyle they're in. So you definitely would be better off just watching the shorts more than the premiere to get a better sense of everything.
I do not know what that means.
The characters are all the big draw here, with everyone playing a particular role in their group. You got Wonder Woman as the strong leader who doesn't understand too many social norms with her being a foreigner. She just basically got into town and is just kind of new to the whole being a teenage girl thing. Batgirl as a very excitable gadget whiz and the new kid in town. She might come off as a bit much, but that's mainly because of the shock of meeting her friends and such. She settled down once that wears off. She ends up being a little more palatable as it goes on and she's used to everything around her. Supergirl as the rebellious brute who deep down is a softie. Her attitude is fairly different than other incarnations. She's way more rough around the edges, but it calls for some nice humor with her. She can be pretty funny with how mean-spirited she could be some of the time. Zatanna, who has a knack for showmanship and a bit of a diva, but is a novice with her superpowers and still getting the hang of them. Bumblebee is the shy, timid genius of the group who doesn't want to stand out. A major difference from her Teen Titans counterpart where she was more confident. I will say I'm not too happy with that change, but I guess it wouldn't make sense to have too many confident team members. She's still enjoyable though, you still can enjoy her character. She does kind of fit inside this group pretty well. It's just kind of wish they kept her confident side. I don't know, that might just be me. Green Lantern is a strong-willed environmentalist pacifist who finds other means to win without causing harm to anyone. She also tends to be honest with others and stick up for the little guy. Granted, that's what all of them do, but semantics. These characters all have a uniqueness to them that really lets them stand out, and they manage to make a cool team that's pretty fun to watch. You really can enjoy yourself as you see them just interact with each other and have to save the day and go on their missions. It's just a lot of nice fun.
That's job.
The animation is done in a fairly unique style, with it having the sketchiness to it, as well as being a mix of Lauren Faust style with soft bouncy designs. The movement can range from being slick and smooth to more choppy for the sake of comedic timing, which is effective. Just as well, when they need to have action, they hold no punches.
Again. Why don't you just stand still?
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Are you alright?
Literally. The characters' design all have unique variations from the original designs that we've seen before. Wonder Woman is more reflective of her Gal Gadot interpretation, even having an accent. Batgirl is made a bit bouncy and bubbly in her design. I do wonder if Lauren got a little inspiration from somewhere. Supergirl is made more buff to put more emphasis on her tough persona. Bumblebee's design is more timid in her approach since she's more of a meat klutz this time around. I'll admit it's the only design that I'm not too keen on. I enjoyed her Teen Titans design more, definitely. It was just played off a lot better. Zatanna is more flashy to go with her more diva personality. Green Lantern has a mild look that goes with her environmentally friendly and honest attitude. Though sort of an odd choice with her is that when she goes into her Green Lantern costume, she still sort of has a mask, but it only covers up like one eye. It's only on one side of her face, so the other half is completely exposed, and they still do the secret identities thing here, so it's like, isn't that, pretty exposing? You can easily tell it's her. I don't know, that's just kind of a weird design choice to me. The show has a pleasant style that is able to work in many directions, which gives them many possibilities for down the line. Gotta commend them for that. It makes the show pretty flexible in their possibilities. Gotta give it to them. It works in many different ways.
I'm in. Is the amp ready? Oh, yes. Almost there.
The comedy is that silly brand of humor that's associated with Lauren Faust. It can have you smiling with how energetic it can be. It works at a quick pace, so you get some fast-paced jokes and visual gags that can be pretty effective. The humor is something that can make sure you're having a good time, mainly due to character interactions. During their fights, they throw in visual gags that when you see them, you can't help but laugh. That's always a good thing in my book.
Amazons, your princess commands you to stop! And your queen commands you to continue.
This is a fun series that puts a nice spin on the female DC superheroes. All the characters are fairly enjoyable and have a good energy to them. You will find it takes some getting used to how some of them act, but for the most part, they're pretty cool. The animation has a versatility to it that allows the characters and action and comedic timing to play out very well. The premiere doesn't give the best impression of the series, but the shorts made up for it by showcasing how lively it truly can be. It's a nice take on the female DC lineup and a downright fun and enjoyable one at that. But that's just a thought.